So it looks like Lakers young star Austin Reeves sounds off on Russell Westbrook. And when I say sounding off, he's definitely speaking upon Russell Westbrook and his presence when he was on the Lakers. And, a lot of teammates, throughout the years have said nothing but great things about Russell Westbrook. Great teammate, likes to, have fun, talks a lot, keeps everybody engaged and, definitely plays hard on the floor, unlike any other player in the sport or in the league itself. And when you say that about a player, that definitely speaks highly of a player in regards to how they play, what their intent is, and who they're trying to be every time they step on the floor. And Austin Reeves has been a teammate or was a teammate on the Los Angeles Lakers, which he still currently is on, and where Russ prior was, now he's on the LA Lakers. He still speaks highly of Russell Westbrook. He says, he speaks about a story about Russell Westbrook when he was, when Austin Reeves had COVID, Russ reached out. Nobody asked him to. He still reached out, asked did he need anything, was there for him, and basically says Russ was the best teammate he had on the team. That's the one he looked up to or liked the most. And that says a lot because, everybody speaks so highly about LeBron, how good of a guy he is. And Austin Reeves has actually had issues with LeBron, specifically. And Russell Westbrook, he's had, no issues with. And, when you talk about things like this, you look at it from a Clippers standpoint, that's a good thing. I will say Russ, I've always heard good things about him in regards to being a locker room guy. And I think that's perfect for what the Clippers need. I will say he fits the Clippers in that type of way. He's going to be encouraging. And there's been other players, on the Clippers as well to say the same thing. Terrence Mann spoke highly of Russell Westbrook before. So is Bones Highland and a couple others on the Clippers spoke highly of Russell Westbrook, what type of teammate he is. And, I will say this, when you're trying to build chemistry, when you're trying to win championships, when you're trying to be the best team you could be, having the right players on your team, the guys who are supposed to motivate the veterans, the guys who are supposed to push the younger guys in the right direction, say the right things and push them in the right form or fashion. It's always good to have that if you're trying to win a championship because you need those type of guys in the locker room. Now, I said before, Russ isn't what he once was about 5-6 seasons ago when he was the MVP, averaging triple doubles and things like that. I still think he can average a triple double. I just don't think he could be an MVP caliber player no more. I don't think he's at that stage in his career no more. But at the same time, Russ still makes an impact in good ways wherever he goes. He may turn the ball over a lot and make me scratch my head and pull my hair out for that, the way he plays at times. But there are times where, more so than not, he is a good teammate. He is somebody that's valuable in the locker room, and he's been an MVP. He's played this game at the highest level. So him mentoring the other guys, keeping them engaged, even keeping the other veteran players engaged sometime when they get lackluster, he's good at that too. And Russ is going to give you everything he got on the floor. He's going to give you 110% every time, and all that's warranted. And I think all that's good for the Clippers. I just need Russ to slim down the turnovers. Or I need the Clippers, which is Ty Lue in the front office, to make a decision and let him run with that second unit, because either one of those two is definitely going to benefit the Clippers so highly they don't even really realize how much it's going to benefit them. If they put him in the second unit with the rotation there, the mistakes that he make can be made up for more, because the starters, when they come back in, they're just going to be more precise, more on point, and the ball's going to be more taken care of. That has to be the mentality or the notion if you're going to keep Russ on the team, in which that's what they're going to do. He's signed for another year or two, so he's definitely going to be there. So, they have to figure out ways to allow Russ to be effective and be himself, but also get high quality basketball and high IQ basketball out of the ones who has a higher IQ on the floor than Russ does in regards to turning the ball over, being more responsible, the assist to turnover ratio, however you want to word it. They need more high basketball IQ players in that position to start the game, not Russell Westbrook, because Russ plays one way, all gas, no brakes, go 100 miles an hour at times. He doesn't do it as much as he used to, but he does it at times still. And Russ is just adamant in that way, the way he plays. You see what I'm saying? And it's contagious. It's a good thing. It's contagious because it makes everybody else want to play hard. It makes the younger guys want to go out there and sacrifice their body to do it all, to win it all. Because watching Russell Westbrook, he just plays with that type of intensity, and it's contagious, and it will flood out through a locker room. And I definitely think it helps a locker room so much, and which is the reason why I do see the positivity in the reason why the Clippers definitely wanted to re-sign and wanted Russ back, because he's the type of player, he gives them a different dynamic. When he is engaged, when he is locked in, and when his mind is set to go to the basket and really disrupt some things, he can make things difficult for a lot of teams. He really can. You know what I'm saying? And the only problem with Russ, the only other problem with Russ, of course, is the fact he can't stretch the floor and knock down threes. And that's the only reason why I really specifically say he needs to really run with the second unit, because he can't stretch the floor if Kawhi or PG is getting double teamed. That's not really his thing. So when they're getting double teamed and he's not a threat from the 3-point line, that makes the Clippers vulnerable against other teams if they happen to play him in a 7-game series, if that other team is pretty much on the Clippers level, or if maybe looked at as a little bit better than the Clippers team all around. That's the only thing that can hurt them, to me. So that's the reason why I said Russ really needs to run the second unit. And of course, on top of that, his turnovers. But as an overall player in the locker room, things like that, you need guys that are valuable. You need guys that will go the extra mile and make sure other players on the team are playing at the highest level and being the best they can be. You need a guy like that. So in that regard, I definitely think Russ, is valuable to the Clippers specifically in that way. I think he's valuable other ways too, because his gameplay on the floor, at times it's going to be valuable. At times it's going to pay. It's going to show its worth. It's going to show everything at times, because Russ, he can have games where he can have a 21, 12 and 10 game. He can have a game like that. He's going to have games like that this upcoming season. But how he rubs off to the other guys in the locker room is going to determine the outcome of this team's fate if everybody stays healthy. Because if the young guys are engaged, if they're locked in, and they really want to go out here and do this and do whatever it takes to be a winner and do whatever it takes to win, and build as a team. Now, Russ hasn't been a winner throughout his career, but he's on a team with guys who have won. And with that being said, with him being on a team with guys who have won, with that being spilled over into his DNA, listening to Kawhi and listening to Norman Powell, who's won championships and things like that, listen to those guys feeding off their energy. They feed off his energy back and forth. This thing could really possibly work, if everybody gets in the right position and if everybody plays their role to the highest level and stay healthy. So that's good. Hearing that from Austin Reeves is definitely a good thing about Russell Westbrook, because he takes that everywhere he goes. Like I said, there's guys in the locker room now, like Terrence Mann, for one, has spoke highly on Russell Westbrook, Bones Highland. It's just one of those things, where you need those type of guys in your locker room. And I think that's definitely good for the Clippers. I just need Russ to cut down the turnovers. And, man, he'll be an A1 scholar, for the Clippers if he was able to do that. Honestly, it wouldn't matter whether he's in the starting lineup or not. If he cut down the turnovers, he can be the Clippers starting point guard, and they can possibly win a championship if he's their starting point guard, if he cut back on the turnovers. That's a big if. I definitely understand that, but it is doable. So with that being said, I'm glad to hear, other players outside of the Clippers organization talk good about Russ, because he gets a lot of criticism. I have criticism at times as well, but I've always liked his game. I just always said his game wasn't built for winning, because it looks so one-dimensional. It looks so selfish. It looks so individualized. It looks so stat-worthy. It didn't look team championship ready. His game never really been built like that. In order for him to win a championship, he has to revert and, convert over to that. And I feel like the more and more I hear good things about him in the locker room and all these other things, I feel like Russ is starting to convert over to that. He's starting to understand that it's not all about him. It's about the team. It's about winning. It's about putting your priorities to the side and everybody else, build together and try to lift this thing up. Because the Clippers, honestly, the last few years since they've been together with Kawhi Leonard, they've been, a championship caliber team. They've been looked at as a team that can win it all. And it's been 4 seasons. And we're going into season 5. And we all know this is the last run for the Clippers in regards to Kawhi, PG era. This is the last run if they run it back this year. So, they're going to have to go all out. They're going to have to ball out. They're going to have to stay consistent. They're going to have to stay healthy. And Russ is going to have to really fit his role even better than what he did this past season with the Clippers. And that can be feasible, especially if, he gets more time with the Clippers, which he will, and, learn his role and be the best he can be. But like I said, it's good to hear that he's a good locker room guy, all those things. I definitely need more from him on the floor in regards to less turnovers and take better percentage shots and, more high quality shots, because that's going to get the Clippers what they need. And that's going to get them to get the best out of Russell Westbrook in regards to a point guard of what they're asking him to be. So with that being said, let's see how it happens. But leave any comments in the comment section and we'll talk about it.